Good morning, good afternoon, good day, wherever you are, good evening. Unknown prophet Fred Watkins coming on with another word from God. God the Father gave me a word, and I will say this before you start listening to it. Do me a favor and don't turn it off until the end, because it is different from any word I've ever brought before. And I want you to get to the end of it so you'll understand what's going on. Okay? It was given to me on the 7th. That was October the 7th, 2024. And I'm bringing it to you on October the 9th, 2024. As I was sitting talking with the Father, he said, "Son, there is much going on behind the scenes with the hurricane damage, much more than you or others know. It is a government takeover, or an attempted takeover. But I am not," and he paraphrased that, "going to let them accomplish it. Not for what they want it for. What they are seeking is greater world dominance, not the good of man. Yes, son, they are manipulating the weather too, to accomplish their purposes. The present oncoming hurricane in Florida is to draw attention away from the mountainous area where they're attempting to take over the land for mining. They care not about a body count or about those who are suffering and in need. They simply want the land. But I will not," and again he has emphasized will not, "allow that to happen. Son, you've seen my people draw together and begin to work for the good of those in need. This is the start of how my people are going to draw together to fight Satan and to fight his followers from now on." Then the Father said, "Watch what I show you." And now I've added this as I was bringing this forward. He told me to go write it. And then he showed me the vision. He said, "Watch what I show you." And what I'm about to tell you is almost like a horror movie in a reverse. It's way beyond my grasp in the natural. All I can say is that the Father reminded me that my prayer to him is that I will serve you whenever you want, wherever you want, and whatever you want. You may think I have totally lost it, and I wouldn't blame you. But here is the vision. I saw a devastated area of a town. What had been a street was standing in a number of feet of muck and mud that had begun to solidify. There were numerous pieces of equipment standing off to the side, including front-end loaders, large excavators, and dump trucks. The large front-end loaders were cranked up and ready to begin excavating the street so that they could demolish the town. As the equipment started to move into place to begin to work, I saw what appeared to be a hand and an arm break through the surface of the mud, and then a head, and then several more, until there were over a dozen breaking out through the surface. These were people. They pulled themselves out of the muck and stood up. And then they moved into a line confronting the equipment. It were men and women and several children. Several of the equipment operators simply left their machines and ran. However, several just sat there watching as if they didn't believe what they saw or were too scared to move or just didn't care. One of the front-end loader operators was apparently one who didn't care. He dropped the front bucket down and started straight for the row of people standing there. As he got close, it was as if a giant hand simply began to tip the front of the machine up and hold it stationary while the rear wheels were still driving it forward. As a result, it somersaulted over and landed on the cab, crushing it. With that, the rest of the operators left their equipment running and they ran. The row of people then moved over to the side and others began to show up. I believe they were first responders, and they began to lead each of the people away, and the vision ended. Now you understand why I said what I said before I gave you the vision. The Father added, I am so thankful he did. The Father said, Son, I have shown you a vision that is totally impossible to man. I show you this for a reason. As the government attempts to move into this area and take it over, I will do whatever is necessary to stop it. Some of what I do will be very startling and may well cause many to become afraid, but only those who are attempting to take over. What you saw may or may not happen. We will see what they require me to do to prevent them from accomplishing the takeover. I didn't have the blessing of that last statement from the Father when I started this, so you can understand why I posted what I did previously. The only thing I can say is the Lord is not limiting himself to simply moving in the natural. In this situation, apparently he is extremely perturbed and disturbed, and he is very unhappy. And all I can say is, I don't know what he's going to do or how he's going to do it, but apparently his hand is on it and he is working in it. In the meantime, guys, keep your prayers up, not only here, but for those in Florida. Come against that hurricane. I think I've given a thing on weather before, and he's not called me to stand against it. I don't know if he's called anyone else, but he hasn't called us not to pray against it. So continue to pray that at least that the velocity drop, if it doesn't quit altogether. And continue to pray for the people in the mountainous area of the East Coast, that God will have compassion and mercy on those who are hurting, along with stopping the government from what they're doing. That's the unknown prophet for today. All I can say is, God bless you. Fred Watkins signing off.